In our last class, we have talked about weathers and climate, and also we have talked about various factors affecting the climates of a place, and that factors include latitude, altitude, pressures and wind system, distance from the sea, and so on. So today we will continue with the factors affecting India's climate. The first factors that influence India's climate is latitudes. You have learned about the imaginary circular lines which runs on the globes parallel to the equators. These imaginary lines are known as latitudes. The latitudes help us to know about the climatic conditions of any areas. Due to the spherical shape of the earth, the amounts of solar energy received varies according to the latitudes. All the parts of the earth do not receive the same amount of heat. Maximum heat is received near the equator because direct rays of the sun falls in the equators. When the angles of sun rays goes on decreasing towards the pole, as a result, the amount of heat decrease from the equators towards the poles. Thus, we can say that different amount of heat is received on different latitudes. The latitudes near the equators experience hot temperatures. On the other hand, the latitudes far away from the equators experience cool temperatures. We know that the Tropic of Cancer divides India into two halves. The southern half lies in the tropical zone, whereas the northern half lies in the subtropical zones. So the climates of India has a features of both tropical and subtropical climates. Since the southern parts of India lies close to the equator, they experience high temperatures, while on the other hand, the northern half experience a warm climate. And the second factors affecting India's climate is altitude. Altitude means height. We all know that the temperatures decrease with the increase in height because the air become less dense, and as a result the temperatures also decrease. Now we know that India is covered by different landforms. It has mountains, plateaus and plain. So it results in difference in temperatures. For example, the Himalayan mountains have an average altitude of about 6,000 meters, which is quite high. These mountains remain cool throughout the year, and in winter they also prevent the cold winds of Siberia from entering the countries. On the other hand, the peninsular plateau has an average height of about 700 meters, and the coastal areas is around 30 meters. Because of these lower elevations, these regions are comparatively warm. Now the third factors affecting India's climate is pressures and wind. Remember that high temperatures create low pressures, whereas low temperatures create high pressures, and winds always blow from high pressure areas towards low pressure areas. Thus we can say that difference in pressure is caused due to difference in temperatures, and we have a difference in temperatures because of latitudes and altitudes. Based on the rotations and revolutions of the earth, different pressure belts have developed on the earth, and the surface wind move from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. Some of the important winds on earth are westerlies, easterlies, polar winds and the monsoon winds. Two different types of winds blows over India, namely the southwest and northeast monsoon winds. The southwest monsoon winds blows from sea to land, that is, they are onshore winds, and the northeast monsoon winds blows from land to sea. That is, they are offshore winds. Now, why do these winds deflect? These winds deflect to the right in the northern hemisphere, and also they deflect to the left in the southern hemisphere. The reason behind that is Coriolis force. The reason behind that deflection is Coriolis force. This Coriolis is an apparent force caused by the rotations of the Earth. The Earth rotates from west to east at a speed of around 1600 kilometers. This Coriolis force is responsible for deflecting winds towards the right in the northern hemisphere and towards the left in the southern hemisphere. And this is also known as the Ferrel's law. The pressures and wind conditions over India are quite unique. During winters, and there is a high pressure areas north of the Himalayas, and cool dry winds blow from these regions to the low pressure areas over the Indian Oceans to the south. In summers, a low pressure areas develop over the interior Asia as well as northwest India. These cause a complete reversals in the directions of winds during summer. The air moves from high pressure areas over the southern Indian Oceans in the southeasterly directions, crossing the equators and turns right towards the low pressure areas over the Indian subcontinent. These are known as southwest monsoon winds. These winds blows over the warm oceans, gathering moistures and bringing widespread rainfalls over the mainlands of India. The upper air circulations in India is dominated by the westerly flow, and one important feature of this flow is the jet stream. Jet streams refers to winds that blows at a great speed. Over India, these jet streams blows south of the Himalayas, and it mainly blows throughout the year except during summer. Then we have the western cyclonic disturbances. These are experienced in the north and the northwestern parts of the countries. The western disturbances are weather phenomena brought in by the westerly jets from the Mediterranean Sea. They occur mainly in the month of winters and cause rainfalls in the north and northwestern parts of India.